Not done a little video in a while, so I thought I'd do a quick one here while I have the chance with this here lock. This is the new Ultion WXM, no XMW, who knows, if I turn the lock over it might say something different. This is their new lock. They had a lot of issues with the first one, pins being very short and things breaking, the start of the plug breaking off and stuff like that. They've tried to improve everything, and this is what they come up with. Initial reactions is look at that massive keyway and all the stuff that can get jammed up in there, gunk and stuff from the street. Not great to have such a big keyway, which in turn though will make the key very thick and strong, and so it's supposed to be anyway. There is still problems with this lock, and one of the main ones, which I'm going to point out here, is the deepest cuts on the key. Oh, sorry, got my arm on the hub. The deepest cuts on the key are basically like a zero lift in here, so I'd be surprised if the bottom of those cuts there actually even touch the pins on the back cuts there. So unfortunately that's making this essentially a 4-pin lock, just the one on this one as well. They're at the front, so we don't even get to the ones at the back before she'll open. This is the key for this lock. This lock was given to me in the dismantled state and I would say the reason for that is because it's a really horrible lock to put back together, and they didn't want to do it probably, and trust me, I don't like to put this lock back together. So the fact of making you a video, I will take the pins out and show you the pins, because I want you guys to see it. It's going to be horrible to put the lock back together again, but I want you to see what's inside. Right, so flat Z-bar wrench. There's such a massive key where you can just bung it in there. Actually fits quite nicely in that corner like that. And slide this around here in the kitchen today. I'm going to use a standard flat flag like this. This is to be used from the left side of the pins, pressing down. And we're going to go anti-clockwise in that case. So pin 1, nothing. Pin 2, nothing. Okay, 3, we got something. 2 feels set. Here's pin 1. We got a good click out of pin 1. 2 clicks out of pin 1. And that was all she wrote. Now, I thought it was very odd for those back 2 pins not to be engaging, so I thought, well, I'll give it a pick the other way as well. And I'm going to do that as well. We've got a bit of time. I'm actually even going to use this flag backwards to the way it's supposed to be used. In this direction, pin 1 is our first binder. There are serrated pins in here, and pin 1 is evident of that. We might hear a couple of clicks out of pin 1 here. 1 click, 2 click. That's all it's giving us for now. Pin 3 gives a click, and pin 4, and the lock's open. Little disappointing if you're asking me. We'll give it the obligatory full rotation. This is a bit tight at the moment because I've got a clip off in the back. Actually, okay, the clip just dropped out, so that's fine. You do need to make sure you've got like maybe a long wrench or something like that to keep these pins down as you pass the bottom of the core there. Actually, this is going to give me an issue now. That's okay. Maybe we can use the back of this pick to get them pins pushed down. Oh, right, well, because that clip has come out, the core is yanked out, but that's fine because we're going to gut it anyway. So here in the back is some big lug. Okay, we've come all the way out. We can see all these pins are up in the front here. I'll rotate it around. That was a disaster, wasn't it? It could have been a lot worse, I guess. But so I'm just going to dump all these out, and we can see that they're actually shouldered, and that stops them from rising up too far into the keyway, and will also be the shoulder that those deepest cuts will rest on and not need to be picked. Okay, so you can see we made a mess in here. Let's see what we can salvage. I won't be able to show you what pins will wear, unfortunately. We have these pins, which are like the standard Ultion pins, I suppose. They're thrown in there. Here is one of those serrated pins. It's not actually a screw thread, they're just normal serrations. I've got another one of them standard Ultion pins. An actual standard steel pin. Spool pin. I mean, we never had any counter rotation of the sort, so maybe in a different configuration you may drop onto the spool and get counter rotation maybe. And then way in the back we've got another serrated pin, but that doesn't matter because it was in the back, we didn't even have to pick it, so what's the point in that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing a pin somewhere. Oh, he dropped down in here. Another Ultion standard. Well, I'm sorry about that gutting, it was a bit of a mess, wasn't it? But you get to see what was in it. This clip here was the retaining clip which had fallen out from the core because the screws were already removed. I couldn't get the screws back in from when it was given to me. They were damaged, I think, so I couldn't hold that in, but it doesn't really matter. Still picks the same, key still worked the same. That's the new Ultion lock.